artists need perspective, but when artists try to love perspective, perspective doesn't love them back. But if you give me 10 minutes today, I'm going to change your reaction toward perspective from this.
Okay. 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 Son of a...
To this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So let's start our timer and get right into things. You always want to start with a horizon line. This is where your horizontal lines are completely straight and flat. This is less visible in one-point perspective, but very visible in all other forms of perspective. To find your horizon line in one-point perspective, you want to look at the 3D edge and make sure that that's a straight horizontal. Along your horizon line, you'll be placing vanishing points. Imagine a vanishing point is when a road converges into a single point to where you can no longer see any more of the road. Horizon lines and vanishing points will be present in every type of perspective, but they may not always be present inside of the frame of what you're trying to capture. To start, place your horizon line and put one vanishing point in the center. Draw a few lines from the vanishing point outward in all directions. Then you want to draw a square and match all of your corners to the vanishing point. Use straight lines to close the cube shape. And you can add some optional shading. And there you have a one-point perspective cube. You can even try it out with other shapes. I personally like to draw a quick vanishing point and attach my shape's lines to it. Place your horizon line, then vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2 about equidistant from each other. Throw down some lines. Now, if you look at the shapes forming from V1 and V2 crossing, you begin to see the base of a cube form. Now, you want to pull up vertical lines from the corners of that base and decide how tall you want your cube to be. Use lines from V1 and V2 to form your horizontal lines. You can generate new lines if necessary, or use the ones that you already threw down to begin with. Go ahead and close up your cube, and then look at your results. Now we're going to repeat the exact same process, but we're going to do it when we replace vanishing point 2 and place it a little bit further away from vanishing point 1. The result is that this new box is a little bit more upturned than the previous box. And you can use this box method to carve into the box shape for other shapes. Take your time and kind of experiment with this before moving on. Once your horizon line is placed down, you want to put V1 and V2 equidistant once again, but now you're going to place vanishing point 3 centered above the other two vanishing points. You're going to throw down some more lines from all three, but unlike two-point perspective, you're going to use V3 to guide your vertical lines, plus V1 and V2 to guide the horizontal lines. You want to find your base once again in the cross between V1 and V2, then find your vertical lines with vanishing point 3. Your resulting cube is going to give you an upturned perspective where it looks like you're looking up at a very tall building. Once you've gotten the hang of this, we're going to experiment with vanishing point 3 now being below the other two vanishing points. And the resulting cube is a bird's eye view looking down at very tall buildings. Just like before, place your horizon line, vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2 equidistant as normal. Then vanishing point 3 is now going to be below, and vanishing point 4 is going to be above. Place all of your lines, and find the base of your cube in the cross between V1 and V2. Just like in 3-point perspective, you're going to use vanishing point 3 for your vertical lines, but you're going to switch from vanishing point 3 lines to vanishing point 4 lines once you reach the cornerstone of where those two lines cross. Your resulting square is going to be some type of strange polygon-like cube. So to make it more like a cube, you're going to curve out those lines. To demonstrate, think about the curves of a circle. The center line is completely straight, but the farther lateral you go from the center line, the curvier your lines become. Use this and find the rough curve of your cube. And with that, you have a pseudo fisheye lens that is 4-point perspective. Now, what is this perspective going to be used for? I don't know. It's just here for support if you ever need it. 5-point perspective seems like a menace, but it's actually pretty easy. You have to use a perspective grid, and that alone could seem pretty daunting, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty standard. You want to place vanishing point 1 through 4 along the edges of this circle, just like you did in 4-point perspective, with vanishing point 5 in the center, but it's in the way, so we don't really label it. You then want to use the squares on the front of this entire circle to create the face of your cubes. And just like before, vanishing point 1 and 2 will be used for your horizontal lines, and vanishing point 3 and 4 will be used for your vertical lines. But now you want to use the lines from vanishing point 5 to create the 3D depth of the box. Remember to match curves of all of the V1 through V4 lines if you have to create a new line. The only straight lines present should be the ones coming from vanishing point 5. And with that, you have officially mastered 1 through 5-point perspective. From here, you should make a perspective study routine. I personally like to get screenshots from Google Maps, trace the perspective, then try to replicate it freehand right next to the traced sketch. If you need something to help your study schedule stay fun and organized, grab my gamified Notion template, where you can create a character to complete quests or your projects to win rewards of your choice. This has made my boring study routine a bit more fun. The template is linked below, and be sure to tune in tomorrow because in episode number 2 of debuting my comic, I'll show you how to use my writing guides framework to write interesting and complex characters. Thanks again for watching. Bye!